Good morning, and welcome back to Daily Dhamma, a letter to our children. Today is August 1st, and our reading is Right Livelihood. And what, monks, is right livelihood? Here, a noble disciple, having abandoned the wrong mode of livelihood, earns his living by a right livelihood. This is called right livelihood. And that's the Samyutta Nikaya, 45, verse 8. Right livelihood means we do not harm others while earning our living. We don't lie, cheat, or steal. We try not to kill people. We refrain from conning people out of their money or pulling a fast one to get ahead. We don't sell dope, women, or children. We look for and are mindful of the divine spark in others. Though we don't have the citation at hand, we believe the Buddha also said, don't mooch. We support ourselves and our families by honest work and our own contributions. After all, we are not communists. Right livelihood is the final piece of the ethical conduct stream within the Eightfold Path. If you'll remember, there's right speech, right action, and now right livelihood. And together these are the things we're supposed to do in order to live right. Now, this is important because if we're half-stepping, if we're living a double life, if we've got some nonsense going on the side, we're not going to be able to sit in meditation, in samadhi, and that's the final stream within the Eightfold Path. If we don't sit in meditation, then we're not going to gain insight, and we're not going to get any wisdom, which feeds to the panya, or wisdom stream, right view and right intention. And all three of these streams within the Eightfold Path work together as a set. In August, we're going to be focusing on right livelihood, and we're going to look primarily at teachers and teaching. And let me be clear, we've been teachers all our lives, and we're not trying to single people out and say, oh, you're a bad person and like that. What we're saying is that there are actions that we should take that are consistent with ethical conduct as teachers, and that this has a big effect on children and on families and on society. And so it's really, really important to do this. We've been teachers all our lives, and we like teachers and we like teaching. We think it's a noble calling. We also think that it's easy to let stuff go to your head and end up someplace crazy, which reminds me of Al Cap back in the 60s had a great comic strip, and at the height of the student riots, he had a cartoon of a bunch of folks running around ill-kempt carrying these signs that said, students wildly indignant about nearly everything, with the capital S.W.I.N.E. This can happen to us as teachers too. It's not just students. It's not even just student radicals. Anytime we have self wildly indignant about nearly everything, we run around in conflict with everybody that we come into contact with. And this is not the way that we're supposed to live. Micromanaging other people, our partner, our children, our employer, our employees, the guy across the street, that's not part of our job description. And right livelihood should include some guidelines for how we conduct ourselves with the rest of the world. Let's avoid being swine, shall we? That's a good place to start. While we're on the ethical conduct path, a word about right speech. Right speech is how we talk with other people, and there's some things that we should be aware of there. We don't try to divide people from one another. We don't do that kind of stuff. But right speech also applies to self talk. If we're running around with that hyper negative loop in our head about how we're not worthy and we suck and we're it's too bad and we're victims and boy you're just incompetent and you don't deserve it and all that other kind of stuff, and you know exactly what I'm talking about with that inner dialogue. That's not right speech either. We need to knock it off. We need to look at positive things because what we see ends up being what we get. Anyway, welcome back, and we're looking forward to August, and thanks for joining us. Please check the description box for the table of contents of the book, Daily Dhamma, A Letter to Our Children. That's available on Amazon. There are also the 10 playlists for this channel, and you can take a look at those. They might help you figure out what we're trying to do here. And happy trails to you until we meet again.